Hey guys, it's Mike here, and today I'm going to be bringing you another video on Dragon Ball Z. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about a very interesting event that I don't believe I've ever heard anyone talk about before. And it's an event that I believe will help shape people's perceptions of how fast characters move and how fast events happen in Dragon Ball Z. And that event is the other 5-minute fight in Dragon Ball Z. So what exactly is this other 5-minute fight in Dragon Ball Z, and what does it entail? Well, without further ado, let's get started. So as fans of Dragon Ball, we should all be familiar with the other and most publicized 5-minute fight in Dragon Ball Z. And that is the fight between Super Saiyan Goku and Max Power Frieza on Namek after Frieza blasted the planet. As we all know by Frieza's own admission, after Frieza blasted the planet, it only had 5 minutes left until its destruction due to the chain reaction caused by his blast. So as a result, the pursuing fight between Frieza and Goku, as well as all the events that happened thereafter, happened within the course of 5 minutes. Now whereas there is a line in the anime during the fight in which Frieza says that the planet should have blown up by then, and that there actually is 5 minutes more to the planet's length before its destruction, this never happens in the manga, and the manga is clear about it being 5 minutes long. Regardless, since this event originally happened, there's been a lot of debate about how long the fight actually lasted and whether or not it was really 5 minutes. And lots of people try and say that it actually wasn't 5 minutes and that the characters aren't as fast as the anime and manga make them out to be. However, did you know that there's actually another 5-minute fight that happens later in this series? And it not only lends credence to this fight, but also other fights and events happening at an incredibly quick pace in Dragon Ball Z? Well, there actually is, and that fight is none other than Gotenks versus Mystic Gohan. So how do I know that this fight and the events surrounding it take place within the course of 5 minutes and don't exceed that time limit? Well, let's take a more in-depth look at this and find out. Now, after Gohan had his full power unlocked by the old Supreme Kai and arrived to fight Super Buu after he had finished fighting Gotenks, Gotenks had defused and Gohan was thoroughly dominating this powerful version of Buu, even going so far as to overshadow Gotenks as a Super Saiyan 3. Seeing as he was outmatched, Buu came up with a strategy to wait until the fusion was able to be reignited by Goten and Trunks and returned. He then goaded them into fusing into their Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks form and absorbed them into his being, becoming Buu-Tanks, or Super Buu Gotenks Absorbed, and gained the power of their fusion and added it to his own so that he could even overshadow Gohan. Now of course, during this fight, Gohan was thoroughly dominated by Super Buu Gotenks Absorbed, and there was nothing that he was really able to do to combat this more powerful opponent. As a result of this, Gohan was essentially defeated, and there was really nothing that he would be able to do to stop Buu-Tanks from destroying the planet. This set off a chain reaction of events that eventually set forth Goku coming back to life, the introduction of the Potara fusion, and a number of other things that led to the eventual defeat of Majin Buu. However, almost all of these events happened over the course of 5 minutes, and there's one reason that we know that this happened for sure, and that is because we know that the Super Saiyan 3 transformation and fusion for Gotenks only lasts for 5 minutes. Now normally when it comes to the Metamories Dance Fusion, the fusion time limit will be 30 minutes for the newly fused being. Basically after 30 minutes, the newly fused being, in this case Gotenks, will defuse into his original components. However, as stated by Goten and Trunks during their training in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber in the manga, when they use their Super Saiyan 3 transformation, the 30-minute time limit drops to a 5-minute time limit. This is likely because the Super Saiyan 3 transformation is such a powerful transformation that uses up so much energy at such an alarming rate that even the time limit for the powerful fusion technique is thus diminished to 5 minutes from 30. As a result of this, the time from when Gotenks refused into his Super Saiyan 3 transformation was absorbed and ended up defusing within Super Buu was only 5 minutes. And we know that this is also the case because Super Buu references the fact that the timer will elapse after a certain period of time, and Gohan is even trying to buy time for this fusion to come to an end. But just think of how much stuff happens over the course of this 5 minutes. Gotenks is refused, Piccolo and the newly fused Gotenks are absorbed into Super Buu. Super Buu fights Gohan and thoroughly overpowers him. Tien shows up to deflect a blast from Super Buu which normally would have killed Dende. Buu creates a blast powerful enough to destroy the planet, and as a result of this leads to Old Kai sacrificing himself so that Goku can be brought back to life to try and stop Buu. Over this course of time, the the old Kai also introduces the Potara fusion technique, which leads the Supreme Kai and Kibito fusing together into Kibito Kai, in an effort to demonstrate the power of the technique. Goku is then given his own pair of earrings and told to fuse with Gohan before using the instant transmission to return to Earth, cut Buu in half, and throw Gohan the earring. And all of this finally ends with Gotenks rushing towards Goku in an effort to try and kill him before his fusion finally runs out and Gohan no longer needs to use the fusion with Goku in order to beat him. And wow, look at all of these different events that happen over the course of a measly 5 minutes in Dragon Ball Z. And this is equally, if not more so absurd than the 5 minutes that happened on Namek between Goku and Frieza in their fight after Frieza blasted the planet. So I think that all of this lends further credence to the events on Namek of that lasting only 5 minutes. And goes to show just how fast events can happen in Dragon Ball Z. I mean, after all, the saga that this took place in, aside from the period of training between Gohan and Videl, only lasted a total of 2 days. So this further goes to show you that not only do characters in Dragon Ball Z move way faster than the speed of light in speeds that we could possibly move in reality, but events and even conversations can last just as fast, and most of the time over even shorter periods of time than it takes to watch or read them happen. So there you have it. This has been another video on Dragon Ball Z talking about the other 5-minute fight in Dragon Ball Z that you may not have known about. Tell me your own thoughts in the comments section, what you thought of this video, and if you actually knew that this event happened. Also, tell me some other videos you may want me to do in the future, and some other things you might want me to talk about as well. And if you have any other questions, don't forget to check out my AskFM, which will be in the description. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.
You better subscribe!